Hello and welcome to our Liberty Protection Safeguards conversation with continuing healthcare. We're going to talk about the impact of the Liberty Protection Safeguards. I'm going to hand you over to Costin and the rest of the team to introduce themselves. Over to you, Costin.
Well, hi everyone. My name is Costin Mate. I am working for NHS England as a Deputy Head of CHC for the South East region.
Hello everybody, my name is Teresa Smith. I work for the Continuing Healthcare team in the Surrey Heartlands ICB. I'm the Clinical Development Lead.
Hi, I'm Chris Lucas. I'm the Operations Manager for the MCA and LPS team at Hampshire and Isle of Wight ICB.
Okay, fantastic. So what I'm aiming with today's video is to find out a bit more about some hot topics, which I'm hoping we're going to cover in brief. So I would like to talk about training, the responsible body, and the use of existing assessments in NHS continuing healthcare, the 16+ and transitions, a little bit about consultancy and advocacy, and a bit about data reporting. So let me turn to Chris. Can you tell us a little bit about the impact on training for the workforce on LPS and MCA, and what systems have been doing to prepare?
Yes, of course. We've already been providing MCA and deprivation of liberty training online and with team sessions for all our staff, and we've made that mandatory. And we're also giving information about the upcoming changes in LPS through team meetings and team briefs. There is some good online training on e-learning for health and other sources, which is good to help staff build their MCA knowledge, and that's essential to be ready for LPS coming in. There also is planned to be some new LPS specific modules developed. It will take time for teams to, undertake all the training that's needed for LPS coming in. So I think now is a good time for all teams to actually complete training needs analysis and put those plans in place. I also think a good way of preparing for LPS is to encourage staff, encourage colleagues to undertake community DOL assessments. There's a lot of crossover knowledge. It's good, valuable learning for when LPS does come in. And there are lots of experienced colleagues out there that can support first timers. And once you've done one, it's not as scary as you think.
Brilliant. Thanks, Chris. Okay, so let me go further and let's touch on the responsible body. So we know that the ICB will be the responsible body for CHC. It will then need to report into the responsible body. Is that correct, Chris? How does that line up?
That's right. So integrated care boards are going to be the responsible bodies for those adults over 18 who are eligible for LPS and whose care is funded through continuing healthcare. So all continuing healthcare teams are going to have to report to their ICBs which people may be eligible for LPS when it comes in. So we need to be looking at different ways for our CHC teams to report and to share that relevant information, with commissioners and with the ICB. NHS England have already asked for information about our current deprivation of liberty activity, and we will need to report information about LPS into the national portal, which NHS England are developing.
Okay, brilliant. Thanks, Chris. That's really useful, and I think it's much clearer. So let me turn to Teresa. Just trying to understand a little bit more about the stages. So my question is, at what stage might a CHC practitioner come across someone who needs LPS?
Right, okay, I think it's just really important to identify that LPS authorisations for CHC patients will be patients over the age of 18. And with CHC assessments, we do a checklist and a DST and a fast track. The evidence that we gather through those assessments can be used for the 3 LPS assessments. Monitoring review of CHC patients. Also, we can identify if there's a change in need and if we might need to review an existing LPS authorisation, if there's a safeguarding or a change in a package of care. It's also important to note that 16 to 17-year-olds will be eligible for LPS. However, from a CHC point of view, we will only be doing the authorisations from 18. But if they've already got an authorisation in place, we can obviously use that evidence and information moving forward. In the local authority, we're also working with the local authority to help identify those young people earlier. And we are also starting to look at student nurses. So again, there's awareness of LPS.
Thanks, Teresa. That's really interesting. Clearly, it seems that CHC assessments and care planning will be really important in being able to support good evidence for LPS applications. What about consultants and advocacy?
We've got a duty of care to identify and to review patients' care and treatment. And through that CHC assessment, that means a consent, and we adopt the MCA principles to determine capacity or no capacity. And if someone doesn't have capacity, we use the best interest. And as part of that, the professional will be the decision maker in the absence of somebody that has lasting power of attorney or deputyship. During the assessments, we gather information from the person and or their representative to be aware of their health and care needs. They contribute to the assessment. So again, we would be able to identify a potential appropriate person, whether that's the patient or next of kin or a relevant person representative. So in some cases, we are using advocates, but there's a national and local shortage. But moving forward, I know with the implementation, there's a lot of work being done to already address that and to consider that moving forward, to making sure that people will have an advocate if they require it for the LPS.
Thanks, Teresa. That's really, really useful to know. Can I turn back to Chris? Chris, what other factors should we consider for the implementation of LPS?
Thanks, Costin. Yeah, a few things we've been thinking about. There's clearly going to be new duties, new tasks for CHC teams. So we need to do some workforce planning to identify who is going to take on the new roles, the role of the approved mental capacity professional, who is going to take on the role of completing the pre-authorisation review, and even identifying which of our staff are eligible to complete the assessments that are required for LPS. But also, there's an assumption that a lot of the information we're going to need or we're going to use is already available. Information about people's mental capacity, information about diagnoses, about care plans, about what restrictions are in place around a person. So we're going to need to actually check our practice and our recording, make sure that we do have that information and make sure our recording is MCA compliant in the future. Finally, we as ICBs will need to do work with our local authorities, be talking to our local DOLS teams to identify which of the people who are currently subject to DOLS authorisations may be our responsibility under LPS, to let them know which of our 16, 17-year-olds may require LPS authorisations from them. So communication and sharing of information with local authorities is going to be vital. Thanks.
Thanks, Chris. That's quite a bit there. Teresa, do you think there's anything else you could add?
And I think I just want to agree with everything that Chris said. I think for me and for CHC, the important things are the care plans. So again, it's working with the providers also that we commission care and treatment for, to make sure that those care plans include some of the things that they may not currently in relation to LPS authorisations.
Thank you all. That was brilliant. I just want to say there's a lot to plan, and it's a really exciting time to promote and protect people's rights and address health inequalities. We hope every CHC team is getting involved with their local integrated care boards, steering groups, and you know, making sure really that they're upholding and promoting really, you know, good practice, best practice, and looking forward to liberty protection safeguards implementation. Our CHC National Workforce team are supporting this and hold events with champions and regional leads, keeping this, you know, at the forefront of everybody's priorities. So thank you all.